What is going on, internet friends? How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing absolutely sensational as per always. Welcome back to my weekly, whenever the hell I feel like it, let's chat forum, where we discuss the issues, things that might concern me, concern you, or anything in between. Because the truth of the matter is, I most definitely do not have all the answers, and neither do you. But together, through open-minded conversation, I'm sure we can come up with a couple of solutions. So, here is a confession. This is the second time I'm filming this Let's Chat. I filmed this Let's Chat earlier on today on my way to work, as I did last week. And as I went through the day, I felt like I was venting, but not in a constructive way. It came from a very hurt place, and it wasn't conducive to the message I was trying to share. I think ultimately the message was the same, but it turned into like 16 minutes of me basically being upset at a situation that I'm in, and it just wasn't serving. The chimney on my left is flippin' out. It's a shame you guys can't see it. Anyway, just a quick brief summary. This weekend we were marching with the Johannesburg Junior Council. And we ended up being left on Vilakazi Street with no way home. Well, no way back to our vehicles except to walk back 7 kilometers. So we ended up taking a taxi that wasn't supposed to be taking us, and let's just say it was an interesting experience. But nevertheless, we're outside, and what gathers us? Oh, good shot, everyone. What gathers us here today is the fact that I've been thinking long and hard about some of the points I made last week, and some of the things that were just not leaving me because of current circumstance, which is why I ended up ranting this morning, and why I've been so upset, and why things have just been so shaky for your boy. And that's the fact that we all just want to be wanted. Ultimately, that's what I've gathered from people that I've spoken to. That's one of the big elements of happiness, this concept of happiness that I've been exploring with my friends and colleagues and anyone who really will listen. To be very honest with you, if you've spoken to me, you've probably explored this concept with me. We all just want to be wanted. And it's interesting because we all want to be wanted by very specific groups of people, or very specific people. Last week I made reference to the fact that it's incredible how one or two people in your life can have such a substantial impact on your happiness and on your mental state and your perception of yourself, you know. It doesn't matter how many people tell you that you're the ish and that you're doing a very good job and that you're trying your best to be a good person, and everyone recognizes that. If one or two people say the contrary or like don't affirm that, it will rock your world. And likewise, last week I kind of made reference to the fact that I've built very, 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 very okay, that was emphatic of me. I have built and put systems in place to try and prevent myself from going into the same state that I was circa 2019. And how there are very few, and when I say very few, I mean a handful of people who can send you back to the sunken place. And unfortunately, that's a situation I find myself in. Sent back to the sunken place. And more than anything, sometimes you have to unpack, why did their words or their actions affect you so deeply? You can put this into any context, a work context. If you know you're smashing it at work and or trying your best rather, and one person tells you, oh, it's a bit of a shit job, but whatever, it'll knock you, you know what I'm saying? It'll readjust you. And as people, I do the same thing. I'm very loose with my words. I'm very quick to speak. But the thing is, our words really do affect people, and our actions affect people equally as much. I don't know if one more than the other, but they really do. I can only speak from personal experience in this situation. But the feeling of wanting to be wanted is not something that we ever talk about. It's very prideful. It's a very, very prideful thing, which is why I don't. And again, this is my own personal belief, people say your 20s are for exploring and, going out and hooking up with people and exploring people. And that's not who I am, right? That's not who I am currently. It's not who I foresee myself being in the future. It's not fulfilling, because the thing with that is that you are giving up long-term happiness for short-term happiness. You are saying, cool, but the long term is boring, and in order to get long-term happiness or build a long-term relationship, it takes work, and that kind of sucks, and it's not really the mood I'm in now, so screw it. And I was listening to a little pod, and the gentleman said something very interesting to me.
If you both think you're the best people that ever existed.
Love and relationships are two different things. Love is a feeling. Relationships are compatibility and fit and work, okay, and progress and projects and and partnerships and lots of things.
It seems like every week I'm going to make reference to the Diary of a CEO podcast, because it is that good. And he said that there's a difference between love and relationships, right? You can love someone but be unable to be in a relationship with them. It doesn't mean that you stop loving them. A relationship is work, it's commitment, it's a lot more than just the feeling of love, And to me, love has always been wanting what's best for the other person. And what hurts me in general, right, is when people say, and this isn't, that's the problem with this forum, is I say, oh, no one's going to watch this in my mind. And then I look back to last week and boom, 200 views. Of which, by the way, thank you all for reaching out. And I want you all to know that you're very loved, and always open to converse. But when people say that they love you, but their actions don't match, right? They do things that are so the contrary. And it brings me back, because it's happened in a few reoccurring things, people, events in my life recently, where people will say oh, I love you, but then their actions won't match that. And you think back to, okay, but 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 4 months ago, this isn't how I know you. And again, people change. That is life, unfortunately. And we fall in love with a version of a person that we know. And again, in this podcast, this gentleman goes on to explain that you can fall out of love with a person, because we change, we evolve. Maybe you don't love the new person that the evolved version of a person. And to me, one of the beautiful things about growing a long-term anything in life, whether it's a relationship with your parents, with a business, with a company, with a romantic partner, is the journey of growing together, you know? Like getting to know, like, what has caused this evolution? Why do you act the way you act? Why do you do the things you do? And coming back to wanting to be wanted, it's that you want that reciprocation, because maybe that's what you want, but potentially that's not what other people are able to provide to you. You know, and again, this isn't limited to romantic partners. This is like parents, this is colleagues, this is whatever it is. Sometimes people do not have the capacity to give that to you. And what's heartbreaking is that they will tell you that they have the capacity and that they are, but the actions and the words and the way that they behave doesn't match that at all. And it is heart-shattering, and it makes you how can I say this? You start playing to your own insecurities. This person doesn't want to get to know me because of X. This person does not want to pursue me because of Y. I am not good enough. Like, if you are a person like me who constantly feels like they're not good enough, that plays on your mind. And one thing that I was never able to build in to my coping mechanism is, how do I cope with this feeling of never feeling good enough? You know, so when this happens, or, you know, this happened, or whatever you want to call it, it absolutely shattered the other parts of me that I was like, I'm proud of myself for building this part of me. I'm proud of myself for building this part of me. And when you bring that forward to someone, like, oh my word, look at how far I've come, look at how many things I've done, you know, and they just don't care, or they don't reciprocate it, you really do. You could have gone, that sucks, you could have gone. You really do start thinking to yourself like, man, all of that effort was wasted. All of that effort felt wasted. And that's the problem. The problem is that you should never be trying to better yourself for someone else. You should be trying to better yourself for yourself. But that's not how the brain works. That's not how the heart works. That's not how anything works. How it works is, I'm not good enough, and this person has basically said that all the progress and stuff I've done is to the dirt. And what you should be telling yourself is that this person is unable to at the moment. This person can't at the moment, and it's got nothing to do with me. And you try and drive that home to yourself, and it's difficult. It's difficult, lemon difficult, because the truth is, as an only child who is prone to feeling very alone, and is prone to having self-doubt and imposter syndrome, and these types of things really, they knock. Like, you know, there's no point sitting here and being like, oh, I don't care, you know, I'm a strong, manly man. No, it hurts. But we rebuild. You know, we get knocked down and we rebuild. God is good and we rebuild, you know. We leave it to God and the professionals, and we rebuild. We keep going. We put one foot in front of the other, and you have to let go of that attachment of the person or people or concept or idea or company or whatever it is you initially fell in love with. Love is evolving. It's ever growing. Relationships are forever changing. And sometimes a relationship changes to the point where you have to let it go. Sorry, I think I was trying to talk to myself there, but it's challenging, man. It's challenging, you know. I appreciate every single person in my life who has been there for me over the past few months, because it's been a roller coaster. There are so many elements in my life. Like, this sounds very targeted, and what sucks about this forum and this channel is that I used to, and it used to get me in trouble with absolutely everyone, say exactly what my situations were. But in this case, there's like 3 or 4 situations going on at once. One was the domino effect to make me really realize the other 3, and the one that was the domino is the one that at the moment stings because it's so unexpected. And you know what? That's okay. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna adapt, improvise, and overcome, you know. Every day, all we can do is pray for serenity to accept things we cannot change, courage to change the things that we can, and wisdom to know the difference. And serenity means fully accepting and being at peace. Courage means being brave enough to stand up for what is right, and that includes yourself. And wisdom means just slowing down to really figure it out and really unpack and really understand what serves you and what doesn't. And in doing so, you discern the difference between the other two. But internet friends, again, I appreciate you all for watching very much. This has been a challenging year. Don't go, my brother. Oh, I know that guy. This has been a challenging year. This has been a very challenging year. And I think that it's also one of the most prosperous years that I've ever had. This has been the year that I got a job. Jobs are hard to find in South Africa. So if you're not proud, if you have managed to get yourself a job, you should be very proud of yourself. If you've managed to run a business, you should be phenomenally proud of yourself, you know. I've managed to like take care of my health a little bit more. Like, holy snap, I kind of eat better now. That's insane, you know. I'm being more aware and attentive to the people around me, including myself. You know, I'm getting to know myself better. There was a stage, and I think I'm still there, where I just didn't know what made me happy at all. Like, it was just numb. It was black. There was nothingness. And I would say right now it's like a very dark gray, where I'm still not 100% sure on what makes me happy, but we're getting to that place. So there's a lot of things in life that are kind of happening. But anyway, internet friends, I digress and I go on and on and on. Thank you for rocking with me as always. Until next time, I appreciate you all and I hope you have a beautiful day. Remember to love life and all the people in it we're living.